Alright guys, what's up? New deck profile today. I'm super excited about this one. We are doing Obelisk the Tormentor. The deck just came out, the structure deck. Got a ton of new cards. The only thing really that's missing is honestly a search card. I'm kind of disappointed that that's not in there because if you don't draw Obelisk, you literally cannot play Obelisk. So we have to play cards that are somewhat expensive in order to try to get to our Obelisk as fast as possible. I was actually thinking about making a total Egyptian god deck. That way I also always have an Egyptian god in my hand. If that's something you guys want to see, just let me know. But enough of that. Let's get started. This is a combo going second Obelisk deck. Right off the bat, we play 3 copies of Obelisk the Tormentor. I think these are the coolest artworks. Unfortunately, the last artwork, this one looks really cool. This looks really cool. It's a classic one. The other one that comes with the used to be a movie promo, that one just looks weird. Like, I hate it. So we play these because they look the coolest. But definitely need 3 copies of Obelisk. Then we play 1 copy of Dark Magician and 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon. So that does mean we use Dragoon. But we don't use Dragoon where we rely on Dragoon. We use Dragoon where it helps us OTK our opponent. It's not a crutch. You know, a lot of decks use it as a crutch. We do not use it as a crutch. We use it just kind of because we have to make a link to regardless. So we might as well make the best link to in the game, and then summon an Obelisk, and then summon a Dragoon, pop monsters, and then smack them in the face with Obelisk. Might as well, you know, win with some style. We're playing Egyptian gods. We play 3 copies of Tour Guide. This whole list is going to get just really extraordinarily weird, but we play 3 copies of Tour Guide because this is our combo portion of the deck. It's one of the best cards to see in your opening hand. It's really, really good. And then we play all of the random targets, the 2 targets for Tour Guide, which is Ejim Sabres. This card, basically what it does is it lets you, Tour Guide lets you special summon a Fiend monster from your deck that's level 3, and then Ejim Sabres is a Fiend that you special summon from your deck that's level 3, but this has a graveyard effect where you can take a card from your deck, put it on the top of your deck, and then special summon this back to the field. That doesn't seem like it's that good, but I assure you that is a very, very good effect, because I will go over that momentarily as the combos come along at the end of the video, which I will have. I'll show you why that's good. Play 1 Dark Resonator. Again, this is for the combo portion of the deck, just so we have access to Needle Fiber, stuff like that. This deck is like half a combo deck that puts up a decent board, and then half of an Obelisk OTK deck, because unfortunately the regular Obelisk deck absolutely cannot go first. It's just an OTK deck, and sometimes you don't draw Obelisk, and then it becomes a disaster. So definitely we had to put some sort of like stall tactics or negates or floodgates into the deck so that we can, at least if our opponent makes us go first, we can do something. We play 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Cult Wing, which is again another very good card for the combos. 1 Deskbot 001 and 2 copies of Plague Spreader Zombie. We play the Plague Spreader Zombie. Again, this is another card where you can activate this effect in the graveyard, put a card from your hand on the top of your deck, and then special summon this to the field. And that'll show you again why that comes up and why that's so important in the deck overall. But that is all the monsters. Next, we play another card, the Soul Crossing. This is a new card. Very, very, very good card. I'm very happy with this card. It's probably the best card to get released out of the Obelisk deck. Out of the God card decks in general, because it comes in both of them, I believe. But basically what this card does is during your main phase, you can immediately after this card is activated, you can normal summon a God card, basically a God card, you know, Ra, Slifer, or our boy Obelisk. You can basically summon it, and you contribute monsters from either player's side of the field as tribute for that tribute summon, which is super, super duper good. I love the way it's worded, because even if your opponent only has 2 monsters, you can still use this, because you can summon your own monster, and then you can activate this, and then tribute their 2, and then tribute yours. Because it's immediately after this card is activated. So it's essentially like an additional tribute summon in a certain sense. But yeah, this is a very, very, very good effect. Basically gives you an extra tribute summon, and it lets you tribute your opponent's monsters. Love, love, love this card. Additionally, this has a drawback, which is that for the rest of the turn, you can only activate 1 effect. So you have to make sure that this is kind of like the last card that you activate, or the first. I mean, it literally breaks your opponent's board, so you can activate it right at the beginning. If they negate it, it's whatever. You have other cards in your hand that do other stuff. But this card is definitely very, very good. It's good in any God card deck that you're ever going to make. We play 3 copies of Fist of Fate. Super duper cool. I love this card. Basically what it does is you target, if you have an Obelisk on the field, you can target your opponent's monster and then negate that monster. Oh, I'm sorry, that effect doesn't even target. Yeah, you can negate the effect of one monster your opponent controls. It doesn't even target. Yeah, it's even better than I thought it was. It doesn't target, and then on top of that, you can destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. In addition to that, very, very good effect. It destroys all spell and trap cards, and it negates a monster. So it can even negate things like a dragoon because the effect does not target at all. Yeah, awesome, awesome effect. Pops back row, which is probably the biggest issue, and then on top of that, like I said, just that. Next, we play 3 copies of The True Name. Again, this will come up again in the combo portion, but this is the reason why I play stuff like Plague Spreader Zombie and stuff like that. That other card, the Plague Spreader Zombie and the Egyptian Sabres. This is why I play these 2 cards, which is for The True Name. Basically, what this card does is when you activate it, you can guess whatever card, guess the card that is on top of your deck. That's basically what this card does. And then if you guess it correctly, you add that card to your hand, and then in addition to that, you get to special summon a god card from your deck. It's a really, really easy way to special summon your monsters, your god card. It's both kind of like a search and a special summon in a certain sense, if you know what card is on the top of your deck. These 2 allow you to know what card is on the top of your deck, because let's say you have in your hand like this Dark Resonator. You can activate the Egyptian Sabres effect from the graveyard, special summon it back, put the Dark Resonator back on top of your deck, then you activate True Name, activate True Name's effect, call the Dark Resonator, and then of course you're going to call it correct because you just put it on the top of your deck. You know what it is. Add it to your hand, and then you can special summon an Obelisk from your deck immediately. Super, super duper cool combo, and I'll again go into it a little more as the deck profile progresses. Like I said, I have a little combo portion at the end here because you guys always ask for them anyway, so I might as well have them. But you need 3 copies of True Name. Unfortunately, I only have 2. It comes in the Slifer deck, which I didn't pick up, but if you need it, a cheap copy, it's in the Slifer deck. So you're definitely playing 3 of that. We're playing 1 Red Ice Fusion. Like I said, we do use Dragoon. You can swap it out with any other good Link 2. Link 2 monster, but again, Verde Anaconda is just the best. 3 copies of Monster Gate. This is like another copy of True Name, because you can do cool stuff. Like if you have an Obelisk and a Monster Gate in your hand, you can put the Obelisk back on top of your deck, activate Monster Gate, and then obviously it's going to be the Obelisk, so you can basically always special summon an Obelisk. It's just another way to easily special summon an Obelisk. This next card is Allure of Darkness. Don't play this. Play Pot of Prosperity. Unfortunately, I don't have it, but if you have it, play that instead. Or if you can get your hands on it, play that instead. But do not play Allure of Darkness. Play Pot of Prosperity. It's way, way, way better in the deck because it basically, you're going second, so you start your duel with 6 cards. You activate Pot of Prosperity. You can look at the top 6 cards of your deck and then select one. So you basically get 12 cards deep into your deck every single time you start. You will get all of the combo pieces that you need. It's an extremely good consistency card. Do not play Allure of Darkness. Play Pot of Prosperity if you can get your hands on it. I just didn't even realize I didn't own it, so I don't have it, unfortunately. 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Again, this is good for outing boards. We are going second deck, and I actually think this card is sort of coming back into the meta. A lot of people are playing just kind of like dark spam decks, and it's really good against shit-alls and their annoying floodgates, so definitely play that. We play 2 Dark Ruler No Mores to shut off our opponents' kind of like monster negate boards. 2 copies of Lightning Storm. This is mostly to get rid of back row. I realize that some of these cards are kind of expensive. Lightning Storm you could just swap out with back row removal. Literally, you can play the Harpy's Feather Duster that comes with the deck, and like Twin Twisters. Same thing with actually Super Poly Common is probably pretty cheap. The only expensive card that I showed you is probably the Pot of Prosperity, which is really irreplaceable, and the Lightning Storm, which like I said, you just replace with the cards I just said. And then we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Literally, you can play any hand trap that will help. I just like this sometimes because you could just set it and negate, you can negate certain back row, which is kind of cool if your opponent is kind of a moron. But yeah, I like that one a lot. And now for Link monsters, you play 1 copy of Salamangreat Almirage. This is for the Plague Spreader zombie play. 1 Needle Fiber, 1 Verde Anaconda, one copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Auradon, the Phantom Knight Break Sword, one Herald of the Arclight. This extra deck is sick. One copy of Warlord Savage Dragon, one Same Frame Lord Omega, one Phonon Pulse Dragon, Mud Dragon the Swamp. This is basically the rest of these are super poly targets. Predaplant, Draco Stepolia, Mud Dragon, Draco Stepolia, Predaplant, Chimera Flesia. This card actually outs Dragoon because it's basically just a Predaplant monster and a Dark monster, and if the Predaplant Verde Anaconda is a Predaplant monster, so you could just basically fuse those two and make this, and this actually searches copies of Super Poly, which is pretty cool. Starving Venom, 2 Darks, the Blue Eyes Ultimate of Predaplants, which is basically just 3 Darks, and then of course the Dragoon for our last target. But now I will do the combos, because if I don't do the combos, you guys are going to ask for the combos, so might as well just do the combos so I don't get asked for the combos. But let me zoom out real quick. We're just going to do it live. We're not going to do any goofy business here. I might not stay on the tracks, meaning in the monster zones that are supposed to, but none of that matters. Basically, let's start our combos. For the first combo, this is pretty simple stuff. Use a copy of True Name, use a copy of Tour Guide, and basically any random card. We don't doesn't matter what it is. But this basically will let you special summon easily a copy of this will let you pop a card, and this will let you special summon a copy of Obelisk right off the bat. You can make a Dragoon. Actually, this can help you make a Dragoon and then special summon an Obelisk and pop a card. You can do a lot with this. There's a lot to do. Basically, we can normal summon the Tour Guide, and the Tour Guide will let us special summon the Ejim Sabris. Now from here you can do one of two things. You can actually just special summon the Verde Anaconda, or you can go into the Phantom Knight Break Sword. You can do either one. Either one is fine. Break Sword will allow you to pop a card your opponent controls and itself. That's one way to do it. Or you can go into the Dragoon play, which would be to summon the Verde Anaconda. Summon the Verde Anaconda. And then use these two to summon the Verde Anaconda. Now you can activate the effect of the Ejim Sabris. Like I said, you can special summon it back to your side of the field by putting a card in your hand back on the top of the deck. So in this case we have Infinite Impermanence. We're going to put that on top of our deck. Then we're going to activate True Name. We're going to call the card on top of our deck. If we call it correctly, we get to add it, and we get to special summon an Obelisk from our deck. We're going to call Infinite Impermanence. We're going to add it, and then we're going to special summon an Obelisk. Summon the Obelisk the Tormentor. And then from here, we can activate Dragoon. The Predaplant Verde Anaconda. We can send the copy of Red Eyes Fusion and the Dark Magician and the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Send all of those to the graveyard in order to special summon the Dragoon. And now we can, this is engraved, I activated it. Activate Dragoon, basically pop two monsters, inflict damage to our opponent equal to the monsters that we popped, and then we can attack with Dragoon and then smack them with the Obelisk the Tormentor. So yeah, it's a pretty good combo. It's basically a 2-card combo that ends on all of this going second. Of course, this doesn't even like take into account the fact that you start with like stuff like Dark Ruler No More, Lightning Storm, all of these going second cards. This will basically break most boards. But let me get to this next combo. You can actually do something similar with just a Plague Spreader Zombie. And I'll show you again. It's super duper simple. Super duper simple combo. Again, all you need is the True Name. Yeah, you just need a copy of True Name, a copy of Plague Spreader Zombie, and you need a copy of anything, like any card. And we can basically end on that board all over again. Super duper easy. It's just that Tour Guide gives you easier access to it, because Tour Guide gives you that access to a synchro engine, and it gives you access to the engine that I just showed you. But this is the other version of it. So basically you could just normal summon Plague Spreader Zombie, link it away. We're going to make a link 1, which is going to be the Salamangrate Almirage. This card has no use for us whatsoever, but we basically just got to link away the Plague Spreader Zombie. We're going to activate the effect of Plague Spreader Zombie. We're going to shuffle, we're going to put a card from our hand on the top of our deck, which is going to be the Infinite Impermanence. I'm going to place it on the top of our deck, and now we can special summon the Plague Spreader Zombie. And now we can activate True Name. Call the card on the top of our deck. If we guess it right, we get to add it, and we get to summon a Obelisk. Infinite Impermanence, we're going to call it right because we know what it's on. We know what it is. We're the ones who put it on the top of our deck. We're going to guess it right, and then we're going to special summon an Obelisk the Tormentor. And now again, you can go into synchro plays. You can do a lot of different things. You can go into needle fiber. You can do a variety of different things here. But generally speaking, I'm just going to go ahead and, because it's usually the best play, link these two away. Send our copies of Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes to the graveyard in order to summon the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And again, very, very consistently, we got to this end board again. And again, we have so much room in the deck to play a bunch of going second cards. And it's awesome because it's like we still get to play the main card of the deck, which is Obelisk the Tormentor, which is super duper cool. And there's other ways to do this too. You can do it with, as I showed you before, you can do this also with a copy of Monster Gate. So we'll do this combo again. For the Monster Gate combo, you need a copy of Obelisk, a copy of Monster Gate, and then you can either use the Tour Guide or the Plague Spreader route. Either route will, again, get you to this exact same situation. It's very, very, very consistent, and that's what's kind of amazing about this. Again, all we have to do, like, it's a lot of different combos, but they all end on essentially the same thing. Normal summon, and now we are going to link that Plague Spreader Zombie away to summon a copy of Salamangreat Almirage, and now we can use the Plague Spreader Zombie, special summon itself, put the Obelisk back on top of our deck. This time we can activate Monster Gate, tribute either one of these, and then we obviously know what's going to be on the top of our deck. It's going to be Obelisk the Tormentor. We get to summon it again. Unfortunately, this is actually, believe it or not, one of the easiest ways to summon the monster outside of... these combos are some of the easiest ways to summon Obelisk the Tormentor outside of the Soul Crossing. Obviously, there's not a lot of like explanation with Soul Crossing, but with the rest of these, like I said, it really does help a lot. And now let me show you what you do when your opponent makes you go first. All you need for this combo, and it's a really, really good combo. This is if your opponent makes you go first. All you need for this combo is one copy of Tour Guide of the Underworld. This card alone will end you on multiple negates, a floodgate, and a bunch of monsters so you can tribute. So when your opponent ends their turn, you can actually special summon, you can actually tribute summon an Obelisk the Tormentor. So all we're going to do is we're going to normal summon a copy of Tour Guide. We're going to activate the effect of Tour Guide. Instead of the Ejim Sabres, we are going to special summon Dark Resonator because he is a tuner. Now we're going to link both of these away to summon a copy of Crystron Needle Fiber. We're going to activate Crystron Needle Fiber to special summon a tuner from our deck. We are going to special summon the Deskbot 001. And now we are going to link both of these away in order to special summon a copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Auradon. Mecha Phantom Beast Auradon is going to allow us to special summon three tokens onto our side of the field. And those tokens, and for the rest of the turn, we cannot link summon, which is not an issue in any capacity because we are not going to be link summoning anymore for the rest of our turn. Now, what's also cool about this little combo is you actually, if you have one of the extra normal summon cards, you now have 3 monsters, so you can just tribute into an Obelisk. But we're not going to do that because this is if we're going first, and Obelisk, there's literally nothing going first. So we're going to continue setting our board. We're going to activate the effect of Deskbot 001. Basically, if 2 machines are summoned at the same, simultaneously, or 2 or more machines are summoned simultaneously, he can special summon himself from the graveyard for free. So we're going to special summon him, and we're going to synchro summon. This is a level 3, this is a level 1. We are going to synchro away the token and the Deskbot 001 in order to make our first synchro monster, which is going to be the Herald of the Arclight. This is our first negate. Basically, if your opponent activates a monster spell or trap, you contribute this and then negate it. Or it has another effect where if your opponent sends any cards from their deck or from their hand, it gets banished instead, which is very, very good because sometimes people accidentally play into this. They activate like Foolish Burial, their monster gets banished, and their kind of play is their play is sort of dead. Next, we're going to activate the Mecha Phantom Beast Auradon. We're going to tribute the 2 tokens in order to special summon a monster from our deck, a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from our deck, which is going to be the Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. We're going to activate Coltwing. Coltwing is actually going to summon 2 more tokens. 1, 2, and now we are going to activate the effect of Deskbot 001 since 2 machines were summoned simultaneously, and special summon it again, which is very, very cool. Now this actually gains levels for every single Mecha Phantom Beast monster on the field, like their levels. So basically this is level 3, this is level 3, this is level 4, it becomes a level 11, so we actually have to reduce the levels in order to summon what we want. But if you have a level 11 synchro from this point that you would want to make, you actually can make a level 7 synchro. But basically what we're going to do is we are going to synchro the Deskbot 001 as another token in order to summon the Phonon Pulse Dragon. Phonon Pulse Dragon allows you to change its level from, you can pick level 1, 2, 3, or its natural level, which is level 4, and then you can make it that level, and then you can't do anything but synchro summon for the rest of the turn. But again, that doesn't matter because we're only going to synchro summon from this point forward. So you can make it level 1. This is now a level 1 monster, but again, you can still normal summon just fine, but you just can't do anything but synchro summon. We're going to basically use that, make it level 1. It is now a level 1 tuner. This, as I said, gains levels for all of the other Mecha Phantom Beast monsters. This is now a level 7. You synchro these 2 away in order to special summon one of these 2. You can choose Cyframe Lord Omega to start looping cards out of our opponent's hand, or the Borreload Savage Dragon. Generally, Borreload will be better because it's a free negate. Activate Borreload, attach our Crystal Needle Fiber to the copy of Borreload Savage Dragon. So we have a negate, and then we have a free monster on board and a free monster on board. This also has an effect where you contribute a token and then pop one of your opponent's monsters, or just one of your opponent's cards in general. You can destroy 1 card on the field. So it's actually a pretty decent board because you've got essentially 2 Omni Negates, so it's going to be very difficult for your opponent to play through that. Also, like I said, if you go first, this is why it's good to play stuff like Impermanence, because you can just set in your back row, have an additional negate, or 2 negates if you play it in an intelligent way. But that is basically it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've really tried to do my best with this Obelisk deck. It's very difficult to play a deck based around a monster that's not searchable, but I've tried to really deal with some of the large problems in the deck, which is, again, the deck has no going first strategy, number 1, and number 2, you have no way to search the main monster in your deck. Not even the boss monster. The absolute main driving aspect of your deck is unsearchable, unfortunately, but I've tried my best. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said, if you want to see that major God card video with a God card deck profile with all 3 gods all in one, I actually do have all of the raw cards somewhere around here, and I'll probably throw it together with the Slifer and all that stuff. It should be a pretty fun deck profile if I get around to it, but thank you for watching. Have a terrific day, guys.